I'm sorry, I think I have a teleprompter malfunction. I might have to cancel this. Oh wait, I'm back, okay. So I know you're asking yourselves, who is this guy? Well, let me tell you who I am. My name's Greg Knox. I own a company down in southern Ohio called Knox Machinery. We sell high-tech metal cutting equipment. I'd like to tell you that I've achieved a certain level of notoriety over the past year because I'm like the LeBron James of machine tools, but that's not exactly how it happened. I'm just a hard-working slob who left Detroit about 20 years ago, and my wife and I decided in 1996 we wanted to raise our children in Ohio because we like the morals here and the family-first attitude. So we did it the old-fashioned way, without a penny of money from the bank or stimulus or TARP. We just put our life savings on the line. I began working about 80 hours a week for more weeks than I care to remember. And with the grace of God, we grew ourselves a successful business. Those were tough years. My wife had to raise our kids like a single mom for many of them. I'm not proud of that, but I'm not ashamed of it either. We did what we had to do. And at this point, I'd like to interject that I am sick and tired of politicians telling me that everyone is entitled to the American dream. They are not. I say everyone is entitled to earn their share of the American dream. And I live in prison that works, people. Now let's turn the clock ahead to late 2008. Some of you already know the story, so I'll give you the Reader's Digest condensed version. I came into my office one morning. I've done a lot of business over the years with Ford, Chrysler, GM, their Tier 1s and their OEMs. And I got a pathetic plea from Troy Clark, the president of General Motors North America. And he said that he fully expected all of us suppliers to call our local and state politicians and tell them that we fully backed the bailout. Well, I guess you could say I disagree. My fingers went to the keyboard and they just started flying. Before I knew it, I looked up. It was almost 8 o'clock and I thought, man, I gotta go sell something. And right before I hit the send button, I made this mistake of copying my mother. 2 hours later, I get an email from Mom. She's a retired housewife in New York. My dad's an ex-New York City cop. She says, Greg, great letter. Can I share it with my friends? I figured, sure, give your knitting buddies a big thrill. Go ahead. 2 weeks later, it was on Fox News. In its first month, it got well over 1 million hits on Google, which taught me never underestimate the power of a mother. So what did the letter say? Well, you can all Google it. It still has a pretty active life there on its own, but I'll share some of the highlights with you. My response was, gentlemen, in response to your request to contact legislators and ask for a bailout of the big three automakers, please consider the following and pass this on to Troy Clark, president of GM North America. Politicians and management of the big three are both infected with the same entitlement mentality that has spread like cancerous germs in UAW halls for the last countless decades and whose plague is now sweeping this nation, awaiting our new Messiah to wave his magic wand and make our problems go away. I wrote, believe me, sirs, that dream is over. We are living through the inevitable outcome of the actions of the United States auto industry for decades. Time to pay for your sins, Detroit. I have 6 children, so I'm not unfamiliar with the concept of wanting someone to bail you out of a mess you've gotten yourself into. My children do this to me on a weekly, if not a daily basis, like I did to my parents that many years ago. And I do for them what my parents did for me, one of their greatest gifts, by the way. I make them stand on their own 2 feet and accept the consequences of their actions. Radical concept, huh? I don't want to oversimplify a complex situation, but there are certain unmistakable parallels here between the proper role of parenting and government. Detroit, you need to pay for your sins. Let the market correct itself, folks. It will. Yeah, it's going to be painful, but it's going to be painful either way. And the bright side of my proposal is that the other side of it all is a nation that appreciates what it has and doesn't live beyond its means and gets back to basics and redevelops the patriotic work ethic that made it the greatest nation in the history of the world and finally turns back to God. I could go on and on, but you all didn't come here just to listen to Greg Knox rant, so I'm going to wrap this up. Talk is cheap. We all need to get off the sidelines as a nation and to get our friends and family involved politically. We need to let Washington know that integrity does matter. We need to present any individual who would represent us with a Bill of Rights letting them know, in order to get elected, they need to commit to us that they will fight for the following. We demand a return to conservative American values and fiscal responsibility. We demand transparency, true transparency, in government spending as well as in the election and voting process. We demand limited government with a substantially reduced role, and we demand tort reform. We demand a tax system overhaul that stops stealing disproportionately from those who do the most to create this country's wealth. We demand term limits so we can end